Hello and welcome to episode 12 of Marie's Bundesliga Minutes. We are filling the dozen today. I'm reporting from Harlem and we're close to Hamilton Heights in Harlem on the west side of Manhattan. And it's been an odd week in German football because this weekend there is the Bundesliga rests, there's no Bundesliga match day. And instead of that we have the German Cup, the DFB-Pokal. Yesterday being Friday, RB Leipzig played against Werder Bremen, and today Borussia Dortmund played against second division Holstein Kiel, the side that kicked out Bayern of the competition. But before we get to those and the talking points, and there's a lot to talk about, some really interesting things happened there, something related to Julian Nagelsmann, and something related to American players with Dortmund, and generally English language speaking players, so interesting hopefully for you guys. Before we get to that, I thought we would turn our eyes to the German national team because it's May now, May 1st in fact, and the Euros 2020, as weird as that sounds, because hey, here we are in 2021, but the Euros 2020 are a matter of weeks away, and Joachim Löw, who has been coach pretty much as long as Angela Merkel has been Chancellor, so since most of us were children, this is his last tournament with Germany. He's been with the German setup since being assistant to Jürgen Klinsmann, then took over after the 2006 Home World Cup where Germany came in third. After that, when Klinsmann stepped back, of course later he came to the US national team. When he stepped back, Löw took over, and it's been 15 years of wild success since. But you know, when you miss the perfect time to step down, it can go badly, and there's a little bit of an aftertaste after what happened at the 2018 World Cup. But that's ancient history now. So I wanted to talk about a development that happened this week. It has to do with the pandemic, that thing we all love talking about. The UEFA, the organizing body of European soccer, said that for their Euro competition, they would grant the national team setups 3 additional players each. So rather than what we're used to, that international roster of 23 players, of whom 3 are goalkeepers, they'll now all be allowed to take 26 players. Now, what are the implications of this? Well, we know 11 players can be on the pitch at any given time, and we know that the allowed switches within the game, the substitutions, have been increased from 3 to 5 per 90 minutes. That's maintaining the same. And it used to be that some players who are very flexible would benefit from the 23-man roster because they could play as left back and as central midfielder or as defensive midfielder, or they could play as winger and as a number 10. But you know, you don't need that flexibility when you have more than 2 players per position that you can take. So I think that will be to the detriment of players like Emre Can, who has not been in very good form, who has caused some defensive errors, has caused Dortmund to concede goals that may have led to Dortmund losing out in the Champions League. It may also be to the detriment of Julian Draxler, who has long been a favorite of Joachim Löw. The 27-year-old at PSG has actually had a decent time under the new coach, Mauricio Pochettino. Like he was under Tuchel, Julian Draxler is always in the, first 15 at PSG. He's not quite a starter, but no one's surprised if he starts. And he can play as a number 8, he can play as a number 10, he can play as a winger. And he has that technique, the dedication, and also in a way the quietness that Joachim Löw really likes from players. But Joachim Löw left him out for the first time in seemingly forever from his squad in the last international break. So for Draxler, his flexibility could almost be a disadvantage, because for each of those positions, number 8, central midfield, number 10, attacking midfield, the wings, there are players who play those individual positions better. But I thought it would be a fun exercise to actually go through the squad, and I'm going to tell you who I think deserves to go, and then you can tell me on Twitter who you think deserves to go and what I got wrong and what I got right. So as goalkeepers, I would bring Manuel Neuer, that's a given. I would bring Marc-Andre ter Stegen, and then my number 3 goalkeeper is actually Kevin Trapp with Eintracht Frankfurt. Sorry Bernd Leno, you've had a decent season, but Trapp is a great team player. He's very popular among the squad. He's had a good season at Frankfurt, and I think the third goalkeeper never gets to play, and it's just good to have someone very good for team morale. Defenders, for me, fullback positions, so left back, right back. I would like to bring Riedle-Baku, who deserves to go, the Germany under-21 international, who's at Wolfsburg, has had a really good season. He was at Mainz before, great attacking threat, can play a wing-back position as well if Löw decides to play with 3 centre-backs. I would bring Lukas Klostermann and Marcel Halstenberg of RB Leipzig. Don't need to say why, they have experience, they're with a Champions League team. And I would bring Thilo Kehrer with PSG, who often plays as a left or right back for PSG. He's technically a central defender, but he's flexible, to use that curse word. But he's been with the setup, he knows the players, he's reliable. Probably won't get any minutes, but to me, he's on the plane. That's 4 fullbacks, plus 3 goalkeepers. So we already have 7 people on the plane. Now, centre back, I'm bringing 4 players. I'm bringing Matthias Ginter, the Gladbach captain. I am bringing Niklas Süle. I am inviting Jerome Boateng back to the German national team setup. And I'm inviting Antonio Rüdiger from Chelsea FC. I actually also just thought that obviously I want to bring Mats Hummels, and he'll be one of my bonus guys because of course we get to bring 3 more. So we now have 5 plus 4. We have a total of 9 defenders plus 3 goalkeepers, so we're at 12. We still have 14 players, and this is where it gets fun because here are the attacking positions, and I'm going to put them all together because who really knows, you know, is a winger even a midfielder or an attacker? Is a false number 9 an attacker or whatever? So I'm just going to reel them all off. First of all, out of my 14, I'm going to start with like the wild cards because I think that's more fun. Florian Wirtz, Bayer Leverkusen 17-year-old. He has the potential to succeed. You know, he's making Leverkusen forget about Kai Havertz, and that's a lot. Jamal Musiala, Bayern Munich's 18-year-old teenager who Germany managed to snatch away from the England youth setup. Then Kai Havertz, the 19-year-old, the original, so to speak. I think he might be 20 now, but let's call him a teenager. He actually scored a brace today for Chelsea. He's been in decent form. He's had a really wonky first season in England, but he's getting better. So Kai Havertz, his Chelsea teammate Timo Werner, I know, people don't like him, but he's the best striker we got. So that's 4. So we have 10 remaining. Okay, Thomas Müller. Get him back, he deserves it. He's had 2 world-class seasons under Hansi Flick. He knows the setup, he can set up goals, he's perfect in tournaments, just remember his World Cups. So Thomas Müller, now we have 9 left. So, wow, why am I blanking? Let's go to the central midfield, because that's easy. Joshua Kimmich and Leon Goretzka, Bayern's tandem in midfield. Toni Kroos, world-class guy, possibly the only player who, besides Neuer, who always starts. Ilkay Gündoğan from Manchester City, and those 4 will really battle it out for which 2 or 3 get to start. And then we have 5 options remaining, and so now it gets fun. Like, who else do we bring? For me, it's Florian Neuhaus from Gladbach. Very good season, reliable. You can bring him on as a goal threat late. Leroy Sané and Serge Gnabry as wingers from Bayern Munich. And I'm actually going to bring Julian Brandt. He's been a little inconsistent, but he still knows where the goal is. And then lastly, I'm taking Amin Younes from Gladbach because he was part of that Confed Cups winning team. I think he could be the wild card that is like fun, that maybe comes on for 5 minutes and at the end and scores. And he would be super motivated. He's one of the only players in the squad that can get past the player on the 1-by-1, can really dribble. So yes, he's like a street footballer, as we like to say, a Straßenfußballer. So he's coming. Back to the German Cup final, and then we're done. So today, Dortmund beat Holstein Kiel, the 2nd division team that kicked out Bayern, 5-0, scoring all those goals in the first 40 minutes of the first half. This performance was so extraordinary because Dortmund, you know, we're still worried they might not make the Champions League. They're still chasing because they had such an inconsistent season, but they've been the most informed team in German football in the last month, in the month of April, and they showed that today, and they destroyed Holstein Kiel, a team that made Bayern go desperately concerned over 120 minutes in the last round and then beat Bayern in the penalty shootout. So The first goal and the second goal were scored by Reyna, the young American teenager, my favorite word. He had a sensational day. This was the first career brace for Dortmund, his first double that he scored. And the first goal was really nice, assist by Sancho, but I wanted to talk about the second goal because it showed all that what Dortmund is about. It involved Jadon Sancho, Marco Reus, and I want to step back to demonstrate how this happened. But okay, we're picturing you're by the left post. There's a ball that comes in. I think it comes on from Sancho. Marco Reus with his left back foot flicks it on. Now we're in front of goal. This is the goal line, right? This is the left post. Marco Reus flicks it on. There's Rafa Guerreiro. He flicks it on again, and Reyna just taps it in with his right foot. It was a gorgeous goal. Everyone was involved. And it shows a little bit the problem with when you're playing Borussia Dortmund, because Rafa Guerreiro was on as a defender. He was on as the left wing back. Then you have Jude Bellingham, who's getting better at scoring from distance. He's becoming a real goal threat. He got the 5th goal in this win. Then you have Marco Reus, perhaps, you know, if he's in shape, one of the best 10 or 15 players in Europe, but he's never in shape. Then you have Jadon Sancho, Eden Hazard, who the ESPN commentator today, funnily enough, called Erling Hazard, because Erling Haaland was off. And you have Reyna. And it's like in basketball when a team has 5 players, and you know, we talk about the big 3. Some of the best teams in the history of basketball have had a big 3, which means if you have 3 MVP candidates or all-stars on the court at the same time, who are, you know, you can't double those players. Who is the opposition supposed to mark? You can't like, if you have 2 people mark one, then one person is free. And this is what happened to poor Holstein Kiel today. They just did not know where to look because there were so many good attackers. This is why Dortmund won. And then Friday, let's just leave it at the fact that it was 0-0 until extra time, which no one thought Bremen was capable of. But it's actually interesting because Bremen and Leipzig are the 2 teams in this cup final who had not conceded a goal in the whole competition up till yesterday. Both of them had a clean sheet going into this. So yeah, 0-0. And then in overtime, 3 substitutes who came on as the game went on scored. It was Bittencourt who dribbled past Gulaschi for the 1-1. The 1-0 that so Leipzig scored first was scored by Hwang, the South Korean center forward, from close distance. He's only 5'10", but he's really a good center forward. He's coming into his own. And then the winning goal, assist by Hwang, header by, no, not header, it was like a volley from close range by Emil Forsberg. They progressed to the next round, and Julian Nagelsmann still has the chance to say goodbye to Leipzig with a trophy. That's it for me today. I hope you enjoyed being here in Harlem, close to the Hamilton Heights in Manhattan with me on the west side. I'd like to thank my camera woman Carrie, who is shivering because it looks sunny, but it's not sunny. It's about 14 degrees and windy. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter at Marie Schubo. That's MarieSchubo, and tell me who you would bring to the Euros for Germany so that I know what other perspectives are. All right, goodbye.